Hey YouTube, it's Adam here. So this video is going to be a bit of a rant because photography, what this channel is generally all about, seems to attract a lot of snobbery and boganism at the same time. Before I get into explaining that, I just want to answer a few questions. Do I use my Leica gear to its fullest potential? Do I use that $20,000 worth of Leica bodies and lenses, flashes, to its fullest potential for street photography or whatever? No, I definitely don't. Would I find it easier to get the shots that I want to take with much less expensive gear like a Canon 80D or something along those lines? Yep, definitely I would. But you see, I enjoy experimenting with cameras. I appreciate the design of Leica equipment and the feel that you get from them in your hands, and I enjoy the unique look that you can get from their lenses. You know, they were the original mirrorless pro camera and the original compact camera that you could walk around with. If you've walked around with a compact camera or a DSLR in your hands at any time in your life, you've got Leica to thank for the fact that that type of camera exists. You know, I enjoy the quirky look and the way that the RAW files from Leica behave when I get them into Lightroom, and at the same time I enjoy developing film by hand from my Leica MP. But let's answer the question, why does photography attract a lot of snobbery and boganism? Rightly so, a lot of people point out that the gear doesn't make the image. It is the skill and the vision of the photographer. And to that I say that I wholeheartedly agree. When you learn how your particular camera or smartphone behaves in different lighting conditions, you can harness your skills to get the result that you want from it, because you know how that gear works. And then there's some of the YouTubers or forum flamers and comment flamers, I've had a few, who say that they hate noobs buying pro gear like a Nikon D850 or a Canon 5D, whatever they're on at the minute. And they hate these people buying this gear that they supposedly just don't know how to use. And I think a lot of that actually does get down to jealousy and snobbery. These flamers complain a lot about why someone may spend $5,000 on a Canon 5D or more on a 1D and then leave it on auto and not explore some of the other features. Big deal. If it makes the buyer of that camera happy, if they enjoy the feel of it in their hands, you know, let them enjoy it. There's no need to try and make them feel bad for buying it just because you didn't buy it. It reminds me of what it was like back in school. Anything that say one or two people hadn't bought wasn't cool, and people who had bought it used to cop some flack from them. And with cameras, like people will say, "Oh, I don't need a Canon 5D," or "I don't need a Leica, therefore no one needs one. No one should get to enjoy one because I don't have one." And that seems to even come up in photo walks and photo clubs that I get involved in as well. But if it makes people happy, let them buy it, let them enjoy it, let them experiment with it. It's really the same if you had, say, a love of classic cars all your life and you lovingly worked on restoring them, and then you got jealous of someone who might spend 300 grand on a new Porsche just to enjoy on Sunday afternoons. Maybe that particular person appreciates the design and the feel of the car without wanting to know what's under the bonnet or how to restore a classic model or something like that. And that's okay. I mean, personally, I've got no interest in cars, and I've definitely got no interest in the internal circuitry or mechanics of my cameras, and I don't really have much interest in how the lenses work, but I love the feel of them, and I love the type of shots that they can produce. And yes, I know that some of my shots could be better taken, and there's definitely people out there, some of you are probably watching this video, who may be able to take a much better shot than the shots that I've taken on my M240 or my MP with, say, a Canon 100D series or something like that. But because I enjoy the feeling of my Leica gear and the unique look that I get from it and that feeling of joy when I actually do nail a shot, I enjoy it, and let me enjoy it. And you know, on the other side of the coin, photography can attract a lot of Boganism too. I've seen it. People who just leave a camera on rapid fire going click, 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 of their kid sitting on a swing, and the swing's not actually swinging, because they love the sound that 10 shots a second gives them. It makes them think that they're playing with a machine gun or something like that. Or they say that their camera is max stream at 50 megapixels. But because they spent most of their money on that 50 megapixel body, they only put the plastic fantastic cheap lens on it. But big deal. If it makes them happy, all good. But to those people who do that, don't think that the features of your camera make you a better photographer. Don't think that you're a gun photographer just because your camera sounds like a machine gun when it's on rapid fire, or that your pictures are going to be sharper than anything else out there because your camera shoots at 50 megapixels and it doesn't matter what lens you put on there. Or don't think that your camera is going to be brilliant at sports, or that you're going to be an awesome sports photographer because your camera's got image stabilization. No, it's not like that. I think as you get into photography, you realise more and more that sharpness doesn't matter so much in photography. It's all about the image, and it's the way that people feel about an image. And that's something really important to remember. At the end of the day, if you produce an image that you enjoy and that other people enjoy, then you're an accomplished photographer. If you can take just one shot in your lifetime that you can hang it on a wall or you can put it up on Facebook or whatever, and someone else says, wow, I really enjoy looking at that picture, you're an accomplished photographer, no matter what gear that you've bought. But lastly, I just want to say, buy a camera with your heart and not with your brain. And the reason I say that, there's a lot of cameras out there that are feature-packed and that seem excellent value and make the whole photography process so easy. And that's great. Definitely for a pro working photographer, that's a good thing because it helps them to nail the shot. And definitely when I'm taking photo or video for professional work, I want a camera that is forgiving, and I want a file format that is forgiving, because I make mistakes, I'm human, and I want to be able to fix those mistakes. Leica cameras are not very forgiving, and that's why I use Leica for my own enjoyment and my own art and for the feeling of joy, because I have the time on my side. But when I'm taking stuff for design work or video multimedia work, I'll use something different because it is more forgiving. But if you really are taking photos for enjoyment, buy the camera you want with your heart. Save up a little extra if you have to. Don't compromise, because you'll be unhappy if you do that. I think 10 years ago, cameras were generally all plastic fantastics that were replaced every few months. I think now with the upsurge of mobile phone photography, we've definitely seen more quality being put into cameras from the manufacturers, better designs and more features to let people express art and to really truly enjoy their cameras. And I think Fuji is a great example of that. We see some wonderful retro looks from their cameras at the moment. I wish I owned one, but I just can't justify it at the moment. But then again, I've just totally contradicted myself. Maybe I should just go and get it because I want to enjoy it. But buy the camera with your heart, enjoy it, don't matter what anyone else says, and don't comment on anyone else's camera choice. But look at the images that you're taking, look at the images that other people are taking, enjoy them, because as soon as there's that little bit of enjoyment in a photograph, you're an accomplished photographer.